Okay, you're on.
Fantastic. Good morning, everybody. My name's Nathan. I'm going to be your MC this morning. Welcome to Kansas City Oasis, virtual, of course. So if you aren't in Kansas City, welcome. If you're new, welcome as well. Glad to have you here. If you are new, Oasis is a alternative community without religion, and we function basically around 5 basic premises. People are more important than beliefs. Meaning comes from making a difference. Reality is known through reason. Human hands solve human problems, and be accepted and be accepting. Excited to have everyone here. It's good to see your faces. If you are comfortable, I encourage you to have your camera on so people can see you. It's good to see people's faces and interact as much as possible. There's of course the chat if you want to message somebody directly or something like that, somebody you haven't seen in a while maybe. That's something we'd encourage as well, just something to kind of get everybody talking and socializing with one another. Today we're going to have Julia Othmer. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Is that right? Yes, Othmer is going to be our musical guest. I personally did a little bit of research, clicked the link that we had in the event and listened to a couple of the sound bites on there. It was just absolutely gorgeous. I'm so excited to hear what you have to play for us this morning. Our community moment is going to be Jude Lane. Jude is going to be speaking to us about some travels to Africa, I believe. So I'm excited to hear more about that. Personally, I haven't been to the continent, so definitely eager to hear some firsthand experiences. And then our main event is going to be Kirsten, I believe is the pronunciation, with Mosca, a organization that is dedicated to countering sexual assault and helping people who have been, working through, difficulties related to sexual assault. It's going to be a pretty intense topic potentially, and maybe sensitive for some people. So do keep that in mind if that's something that is difficult for you to hear, or perhaps you need to excuse yourself for a little bit or find something to kind of get you through, get a cup of tea or something. Please, we encourage you to do that. Speaking of which, I think we have a couple of announcements. I'm going to mention them briefly here as we get ready for our music, but I'll also mention it at the end if you're interested in these things. Don't worry, I'm going to mention them again. So first things very important is community group signups have opened. The link is on the Facebook page, the private Facebook page, I'm sorry. If you are new, if you've never been here before, or maybe you just haven't been added to the private Facebook page, it is private. You have to be added. But it's not difficult. Just say I want to join. And I think it's a button that you can go to on the Kansas City Oasis private group page. You just click, add me, and then an admin will look at that and add you. It's not a difficult application. We don't take your credit score, nothing like that. So, so that's that one. Also, a little bit early, but February 19th, we're going to be having a virtual movie night. We're going to be watching a movie called Leaving God. It's a short film. I believe it's 45 minutes roughly. And we're going to have everybody get together the evening of the 19th. So about 2 weeks away from now, just under. And everybody's going to watch it together. And then our speaker the following morning is John Follis. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. And he's going to be talking to us about the movie and stuff like that. It is available to watch. I believe it's going to be in the event page if you want to watch it. I think it's on YouTube. You can watch it separately. So if you can't make it to the actual event itself, that is not a big deal. You can still watch it. You can still be in the loop for that. And then, on Sunday, we'll discuss that. A couple birthdays as well. Barb Miller this month, Kelsey Reed and Jess Sanchez, I believe, are all birthdays that have not been announced, I believe, yet, or if not, happy birthday again. Glad to have everybody as part of the community and recognize that you have a birthday. Stuff to celebrate. All right. And then I think with that, we're going to get started with some music. Julia, are you about ready?
I am ready. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Woo! Well, good. Happy new day. Happy Sunday to all of you. My name is Julia Othmer, and it is such a pleasure to be in your company today. I thought I would start off with something that I certainly feel is a bit of an invitation and very much in celebration of all those who have the courage to walk their path, no matter what it may be or what it might look like. This is a song called Weather. Whether you know it by name, whether it's vague and in vain, whether it's sadly the same, come on in. Whether the tide dragged you in, whether you've stumbled again, whether you fear it's a dream, come on in. Oh, whether you're saying, whether you're numb, whether you do it for fun, come, my dear, gather around the fire and don't worry or wonder, is it what you deserve? Raise your cup and sing, hey, oh, hey, oh, slam it down, way, oh, way, oh. We will need at least one more round, hey, oh, hey, oh, slam it down, way, oh, when you're done. Whether you wanted your fame, whether you've shouldered their shame, whether you've tempered the blame, come on in. Whether you thrilled on a lie, whether it was do or die, whether you cared to know why, come on in. Come, my dear, gather around the fire and don't worry or wonder, is it what you deserve? Raise your cup and say, hey, oh, hey, oh, slam it down, way, oh, way, oh. We will need at least one more round, hey, oh, hey, oh, slam it down, way, oh, when we're done. And we're done. And we're done. Now that you come through the door and you've had the floor, do you find you one more? Since you came in. Woohoo! I got so used to doing these kinds of Zoom hands that at a recent concert I actually found myself doing that in person, and it was kind of woohoo! I'm just taking a moment to ask my songs who wants to be played next, and yeah. Yeah. Oh, this one. Little reminder to be kinder to ourselves and to each other. And if shizzle is just a bit heavy, sing this very loudly to yourself, and sometimes it might just help. This is called Frickin' Awesome. Sharp teeth can hide in the softest mouth. I heard what you said, I know what you meant, but I'm playing the long game. You push me down, I'm gonna push away. You got what you need, so take it and leave, 'cause I'm not gonna back down. Now if I kept all of the stones that you've thrown, I would not know my own. I am not willing to be somebody's shadow. In my mind, I'm awesome. I'm freaking awesome, yeah. Oh, in my mind, I'm awesome. I'm freaking awesome, yeah. Say I'm proud that I live too loud. It isn't for you that I do what I do, and I'm gonna keep dancing. I will double down on my daydreams. Come on now, raise all the roof beams. No more hiding out and away. I am right here, right now. Oh yeah, oh. In my mind, I'm awesome. I'm freaking awesome, yeah. Oh, in my mind, I'm awesome. I'm freaking awesome, yeah. Hey, I might go down in flames, but I'll make it burn so they see it for miles. I'm tired of fighting, tired of trying. I'm giving all of me up. In my mind, I'm awesome. I'm freaking awesome, yeah. Oh, in my mind, I'm awesome. I'm freaking awesome, yeah. Hey, freaking awesome, 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 freaking I am freaking awesome, yeah. Freaking awesome, 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 freaking you are freaking awesome too.
Can't help it.
Woo!
That was fun. You have a lot of energy. And also, just saying, I don't know about anyone else. I really love this outfit. What kind of outfit is that? Like, is it a cape? Is it a I don't even know what that is.
It is a dragon cape. And I realized after putting it on that the beautiful dragon's on the other side of the camera angle. But yes, it is my dragon cape. I'm a dragon, you see.
I love it. I love it. It's great. It's a good look.
Thank
Do you
you.
always wear that when you have a performance, or do you change it up?
I change it up a little bit, though I am known for my red shoes, which I have foregone today in lieu of slippers.
Okay.
But
So
it is, early morning.
Okay, so normally you have ruby red shoes to kind of click together, or not?
That's absolutely right.
Really?
No
Okay.
kidding.
Okay, well, there you go. Well, some of us are in Kansas, so yeah. So Jude, are you about ready to go? Cool. So Jude is going to be giving us his experiences with traveling abroad to Africa, Ghana, I believe it was. And Jude gave me a couple things to describe him and a warning label. So he said his descriptions were empathetic, sweaty, and pensive. And warning label is the chillest, stressed out person you've ever met. Yes. Yeah, I can attest to the chilled part. You know, we're gonna all have to take your word for it on the stressed out part, Jude.
I keep it all contained. It's inside.
Keep it all inside, yes. It's like, well, at least, you know, the radiation doesn't leak out too often, right? Yeah, well, hey, let's get started. Tell us about Ghana.
All right. So if you guys remember, if you got to join that week, a lady named Yvonne spoke from Humanist Action Ghana, which is a nonprofit working with accused witches, specifically in the northern region of Ghana. And before it was Humanist Action Ghana, it was Humanist Service Corps. And I got to be a part of it in 2016. I worked there for about a year, working in the northern region. And today I'm going to read a reflection piece that I wrote while I was there. We had these things called Applied Sentience that was part of our outreach for donorship and everything, where we wrote journal entries about our time there. I really wanted to read two pieces, but it was going to be too long. So I'm just going to summarize one of them and then jump into the next one. And hopefully you can kind of see how they're connected and why I really wanted to share them together today. So the first piece was just in my first couple of days when I was living in the country. I went to get a drink at a local bar, and I met a USian woman who was really frustrated with the nonprofit work she was trying to do. She didn't seem like she was being very successful. She was having a really hard time. I think she had been there about 6 months when we were talking. And part of that same conversation was a man named Andrew. And Andrew was a Ghanaian-born man who had actually moved abroad, made a success out of his life, and had come back to bring that success home and help his own people. And so naturally, I asked his advice. I had just gotten to the country, and I wanted to hear what he had to say about things. And he told me that I wouldn't change anything. He said Ghanaians need Ghanaians. Many of them needed to travel abroad like he did, come back, bring those experiences, and make their country better. And he said Ghanaians were too dependent on rich white people handouts. And for me personally, he said anytime I was getting frustrated with the work that we were doing, with the people that I was trying to work with, he said I needed to just smile my best smile and keep moving forward. And this conversation really messed with me. I pondered it the whole time I was there. I kept that your best smile phrase in my head the whole time I was there. And though I don't feel like we did nothing, I certainly feel like there was a net positive to the work that I was doing there. I also don't think Andrew was wrong. And change like we were wanting to see while I was there, and like Yvonne is still working on, is super slow. And it needs Ghanaians to do the heavy lifting for it to be a successful change. Andrew actually opened his own bar soon after he and I had spoke. It's been very successful. One of the significant elite pro teams, soccer teams in the country, went and ate at his bar. It was a big deal, and it's still successful now. Yvonne actually still goes and eats there, and she says they're doing well. And so in connection with this next piece, this next one's just about what Ghana gave to me. This is what I learned from them while I was living there, from their culture. So here we go. I acknowledge you. Of the many different cultural adjustments to be made when coming to Ghana, one of the most important is understanding the process and significance of local greetings. There's a list of about 10 different basic greetings and connected conversational pieces to learn. These are relatively easy to learn and use, but the biggest challenge is just the sheer volume of times in a day you greet people and people greet you. It is incredibly important in Ghana to greet people and acknowledge them, far more so than anywhere I've ever been before. Even if you do not speak due to noise, preoccupation, or distance, people will wave, nod, and bow as a sign of respect to those they pass. Especially as a foreigner, people are curious about you personally and want to make friends with you, want to see if you are familiar with the language, and want you to feel welcome and part of their community. But as someone without this experience, I had multiple challenges to work through in order to adjust to this cultural aspect. I had to accept bowing or kneeling, I had to accept the attention, and I had to realize the social value. When I left religion, there for a long time, I had asserted that I would never bow to anyone or anything ever again. So much time on my knees before God had given me a bitter taste in my mouth with regards to the action. So when I first arrived in Ghana, I had a strong resistance to allowing myself to bow to greet elders I met. I was shown quickly that this was something I would have to get over. Within the first few weeks, we were meeting chiefs, to which bowing or squatting is the only option. Anything less is unacceptable. When we were first learning greetings and realizing the frequency with which we would be greeting people, it was a shock to my system. And for the first 4 months, it was extremely draining to try to follow local culture. I was not used to interacting with so many people in a day, and it would completely wear me out by the time I had returned home. Inaccurate though my interpretation of the situation was, I felt like I was being gawked at, like I was some form of entertainment for the locals to yell at and see what happens. When I was already feeling out of place, already feeling like everyone was staring, already trying hard to integrate and adapt. When I was not used to this kind of interaction with so many people, I had an incredibly difficult time being okay with this aspect of my experience here. One day while riding to Kukuo, a small neighborhood village, I had a long conversation with my friend and coworker, Lukman. This conversation changed everything for me. I vented my confusions and questions, and I listened to his answers. This was a huge lesson in how cultural differences can mold perceptions, and how cultural adjustment is not only about the physical action, but the spirit of those actions. He explained that it is not about me being some kind of show. It was respect. Casual, sometimes comically communicated respect, but still, this was just how Ghanaians said, "Hi, I acknowledge you as a person. I acknowledge your existence. I acknowledge your importance." After this ride, I realized that when I greeted, waved, bowed, and smiled, that this is what I was saying. It was no longer obligatory. It was beautiful. From that point on, whenever I greeted someone, I would say this in my head: I acknowledge you. You are important. And never again did this action zap my energy. In fact, it gave me energy. I was excited to greet people. I was excited to bow toward an elder. I was excited to wave and say hello to the hundreds of children I passed on a regular basis. I was excited to let people know, through their own cultural tradition, that I considered each and every one of them important, that they mattered to me. No matter our differences, no matter our worldview and life experiences, we are both human beings. Seeing the smiles on their faces, their noticeable excitement when they heard me speak their language, and the obvious change in the tone of the conversation has been one of my favorite things about my experience here. In fact, I strongly hope that it permanently affects the way I treat people at home and anywhere else I visit. I want to carry with me the Ghanaian spirit of acknowledging my fellow person and acknowledging their value. So that's the piece. Hopefully the connection between the two is pretty easy to see. And hopefully it's something that you guys can also reflect on. As much as international volunteerism is about giving to the people there, I also want to follow Andrew's footsteps. I left my home, I traveled to a foreign land, and I returned to my culture with a way to make it better. Thank you.
Love that. It's definitely interesting the meanings and associations people have behind different actions from different cultures to another one. How people, even just a couple, states away or countries away, or I don't know, long flight away, just it's very different how people see those things. But yeah, it's interesting. It's like greeting people. There's not as much of a expectation for people just in general public to greet each other. And personally, I think it's something that's really wonderful to see, you know, people talking, like, not, you don't have to have a conversation, but just, you know, acknowledging people and not letting people be invisible to you is how I kind of heard it. It's like, even if you're strangers, or even if you're never going to see that person again, you're acknowledging their existence. They're not invisible to you. And I think for a lot of people, that's incredibly healthy and affirming and warming for people to have even strangers just be like, hey, I see you, I see you're there, you exist, you're a person, you know, you're worthy of certain respect and care. That's a fantastic thing for people to feel. Thank you so much for sharing. So now, again, I'm gonna give you one more quick warning, everybody. So this is a pretty heavy topic, potentially, for some people, and a very grave,
Okay.
you
Hey,
know,
Nate.
kind of
Look.
important topic for everybody to go over.
Hey, Nate.
Um,
Oh,
oh,
I'm
right,
sorry.
we're not doing that yet. Sorry,
Not
breakout
yet.
sessions. You're right. You're right. Thank you for the reminder. We'll do that afterwards. First, we are going to do our breakout groups to get a chance to talk to everybody, to use the restroom if you need to, grab some tea. Personally, I am going to grab some tea. We'll be doing that. I think we're doing this for 10, 15 minutes, and then we'll be back. Hi, everybody. We're just waiting for everyone to get back in. It won't be but a minute. I think, Julia, you're going to be doing some music for us before our main speaker. So give you a little warning there. I don't know if anyone else got tea while we were on break, but this is what I needed so much. My go-to is a vanilla chai, but I kind of ran out of that until I go to the store today. So I'm just drinking a Sleepy Time mint. I hope that doesn't mean that there's anything that puts you to sleep in it, but I think it's just meant to be like calming mint. Here we go. All right. I think that's everybody back. Let's see. Julia, are you about ready to play us another song?
I am ready. Are you ready?
Hey, quick question though, before you do that.
Of course.
How many instruments do you play? Do you just play piano? But
Piano is my primary instrument. We certainly have different percussive instruments that I also play with. And in the very forgiving environment of the studio, every now and then I'll play some drums or accordion or other keyboards and various vintage organs that my husband and collaborator, who's also doing the sound. So I would like to say thank you to James Lundy for helping with create this sort of sonic and audio visual environment. So it just sort of depends on what the songs also ask for. Who knows what else I might be playing in the future.
Yeah, definitely. It's hard. Like I played piano, and it's just so like hard somehow to remember that it's a percussion instrument, just because I don't know. It's hard to think of it that way sometimes. It's got the little hammers, doesn't it? So
it's a percussion and a string instrument.
Mm-hmm. Like a hybrid. I love pianos. They're fun. All right. Well, turn you loose. What song is calling your name?
I believe I will be playing, well, unless it changes in the next few seconds, a song called Never Too Far, which is off of our last studio album called Sound, which if you are interested in the music I've been playing, actually all the songs so far have been from that album. And you can get that on all streaming platforms. And it's also on our website. Yeah, this is Never Too Far. Why did you have to go? Bend your knee to gilded thrones. Obeisance as its toll. You are heading nowhere but down. Do you wanna lose your crown? Do you wanna burn this paper town? Now if you're wanting to turn it around, I will catch you, I will catch you. 'Cause you're never too far gone. You can't come home. You're never too far gone. You can't come home. Demand and demand and demand. Burning headlights scare the lamb. The hammer's heavy in your hands. Don't let the bastards get you down. Do you wanna feel the ground? Do you wanna let go, free fall down? Now if you're wanting to turn it around, I will catch you, I will catch you. 'Cause you're never too far gone. You can't come home. You're never too far gone that you can't come home. You've been running so hard for so long. it's getting to be like a new normal, and the harder you run, the more you burn it away. You told me nobody's broken, some lose their way. You're never too far gone that you can't come home. You're never too far gone, now come on home. Any day, anytime, come on home, come on home. Open doors, open minds, come on home, come on home. Any day, anytime, come on home, come on home. Open doors, open arms, come on home, come on home. Any day, oh, any time. I am opening doors, I am opening my mind. Any day, oh, any time. I am opening doors, I am opening my mind. Any day, oh, any time. I am opening doors, I am opening my mind. Any day, any time. I am opening doors, I am opening my mind.
Love it.
Woo!
Beautiful.
Thank
Absolutely
you.
enchanting. The
Thank
whole
you.
song is just so amazing. You're just like, ah, I'm gonna have to get that one actually. You said that's on iTunes and everything like that. I think I have like some money on there.
Definitely, definitely. iTunes, all the streaming services, and it's also on my website, juliaothmer.com.
Yeah, and everybody, just to make sure you know, I don't know if you've used the chat function, but if you go to the bottom or if you're on your phone, there's a chat button. You can click that. And there's a Venmo there and a PayPal for Julia if you want to give her some tips or stuff like that. And I believe I put on Julia's website for her music at the very top of the chat, the general chat for everybody. So definitely some ways that you can get in touch with some of her music. So definitely check that out. Alrighty, so now we are going to move on to our featured speaker. I believe, again, sorry if I'm butchering your name, Kirsten. But Kirsten's going to be speaking to us about a weighty topic. Going to be talking about how MOSCA, I believe, is the abbreviation, which stands for, I believe, Metropolitan Organization Countering Sexual Assault, is working in Kansas City and in different places to help people who are survivors of rape or other sexual assaults and things like that. So definitely very important work, very difficult work, I'm sure, very emotional topic. So excited to get started with that. Do we have Kirsten?
I don't know that I'm seeing.
Yeah, I'm not seeing Kirsten.
Okay.
Did Kirsten check in earlier?
No, I
Okay,
was
well, we
hoping
might.
that they had while I was gone, but
Now, well, in that case, I don't know that we have our featured speaker today. That's fun. In which case, I think we have a little bit of extra time. Julia, did you have something prepared in advance?
sure. No, but let me I'll just talk for a little bit. Maybe I'll talk a little bit about some board stuff. Let's do that for a little bit. Okay, here we go. Good morning, everybody. It's great to see you. It's great to see everybody. We have ended now close to we're about a month away from our second year as a virtual community. I know that for a lot of us, we felt like there was light at the end of the tunnel a couple of times. We've had a couple more setbacks as far as in-person meetings, but I want you to know that we're still thinking of some ways until we can find our new permanent home that there's some interaction. I would refer everybody to the private page again as far as community group hosting setups, and that will you can go to the private page and you can volunteer to host there. If you haven't hosted a community group before and are interested in what that might entail, again, it's all going to be virtual over Zoom this time, and you can reach out to Mark Dixon, one of our board members, for a little more information around what hosting entails and what community groups are in general, if you think it's something you'd like to be involved in. If you're not up for hosting, I would encourage you to keep an eye out for the coming sign up for membership, or to sign up to be part of these community groups. They're held at various days and times, so there's hopefully something that will fit in your schedule. So that might be something you can check out later. And here's something we have in the works. It's not official yet, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about it a little bit. We have the opportunity to participate in the North Kansas City Snake Saturday Parade, registered as a nonprofit group. Denise has very generously offered up a theme for us, so I think we're going to go with that. Sort of going with our reality is known through reason theme. We're going to do a March of the Dinosaurs. So if that's something you're interested in, again, keep a lookout on the private page. We need some volunteers for that. A couple of volunteers just for the event itself, but then also as many dinosaur costumed persons as are willing to participate and march with us up in North Kansas City. That is the Saturday before St. Patrick's. I believe that's March 12th, but more information yet to come in that regard. Another couple just board related things, or I guess budget related things, being the treasurer, I guess we can talk about. We ended the year in good financial shape, of course, with not having the expense of an in-person venue. Over the last couple of years, we've been able to just sort of, put that money in the bank and save it for when we are ready to return to in-person events and programming. So that's good. The financial report, I owe everyone an end of the year financial report, and that'll be forthcoming. For the most part, our expenses is, we have storage of our equipment, and then we have, our program, the cost to put in our program, our Zoom license, our honorariums for speakers, and our performance fees for our musical guests. But it has just been such a pleasure, even though it's been more challenging than probably any time I've been on the board, to be able to keep our program intact, our community intact, keep people connected as best we can under the circumstances. And yeah, we're looking for more ways that are relatively safe. We know it's gotten to the point where it seems like sometimes this virus is a little inevitable, but we want everyone to stay as well as humanly possible, and that's sort of been our focus. We still also will schedule later this spring a cleanup of our adopted park over in Shawnee, Kansas. We're also looking for a park to adopt in the KCMO metro, so that's something that will be forthcoming, or maybe as we do a lot of times, partnering with another nonprofit organization just to help boost the impact of our local community and what everyone is up to here in Kansas City to use our human hands to solve human problems. So that's something we have forthcoming. As far as this information from Moxa is concerned, this is something we'll likely reschedule. A few years back, we made a promise sort of as a board that we would, make sure to present some programming around consent and bring awareness to sexual harassment, sexual assault, and what some, not only some preventative measures that could be taken, but also ways to be supportive of victims of that. So that's something we will look to reschedule. And I've done a lot of talking here in the last couple minutes, but I think we will, we might just go ahead and see if Julia has a few extras. I think we're going to have a little mini concert now, so that's pretty exciting. So with that, I will, if anybody has any questions about any of that, please reach out to me. Messengers, Facebook Messenger is probably the best way, but feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about anything that I've discussed or anything that we have upcoming in the next few weeks. But otherwise, or again, if you would like to be a member of the private group and are not yet connected there, that's another way. Oh, and I think my name here says Kansas City Oasis, but I will type my name into the chat so you know who to message if you need it. My name is Julie Samuel Wisman. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to you, Julia.
Woohoo!
Woo!
All right. I have to say, the idea of dinosaur costumes, I saw that in the chat, that delights me beyond any way that I can reasonably express in this format.
Hey, if you want to come, you're welcome.
Fan of the blow up dinosaur costume. It gets me every single time. I love it. Okay, so this is this moment where if I was playing guitar, I'd sort of pretend to tune my instrument to buy a little time to ask my songs who would like to be played. So I'm going to take things down a little bit before we ramp it back up. This is a song called Homeward. I wonder where I'll be when I'm called to come home. Will I be with you, or will I be alone in the dead of the night? Will I slip away? When it comes to pass, I would say, buy me a drink and drink up around. Don't be sad, we are still around. Some will say their prayers. Just sing me a song and I'll watch over you, and I will see you. I will see you before long. And every day will come, not a one will last. And will you let it it go? Will you hold on fast? My heart beats harder as we all draw near. I say raise 'em up, raise 'em high, my dear. Buy me a drink up around. Don't be sad, we are still around. Some will say their prayers. Just sing me a song, and I will watch over you, and I will see you. I will see you before long. Homeward, homeward, homeward. It's time to head on home. It's time to head on home. Woohoo!
Beautiful.
Now for something completely different. This isn't one I wrote, but man, I wish I had. One pill makes you larger, and one pill makes you small, and the ones that mother gives you, I don't do anything at all. Go ask Alice when she's 10 feet tall. And if you go chasing rabbits and you know you're going to fall, tell them a hookah, a smoking caterpillar has given you the call to call Alice when she was just small. When the men on the chessboard get up and tell you where to go, and you've just had some kind of mushroom and your mind is moving low, go ask Alice, I think she'll know. When logic and proportion have fallen softly dead, and the white knight is stalking backwards, and the red queen's off with the head. Remember what the dormouse said: feed your head, feed your head. Woo!
Ah, that's fun. Love it. Love it. Do you have one more for us?
I do. And again, it's such a privilege to be among you today, and the work that you all are doing and the way that you're coming together is really inspiring. And I think in these times that have been really quite divisive in so many ways, it's all the more important for community to be being built. And however that might look, however might that resonate with any particular individual. And there's a quote that Mr. Rogers said his mother told him whenever he was distressed about when times seemed to be really difficult. She said, always look for the people who are actually helping, because therein is hope. And I found myself one day sort of forgetting about that, and the song showed up. This is called Keep On Rising. And once again, thank you so much for having me. When I cannot hear my heart singing for you, for me, that silence is devastating. Sometimes I need some help remembering who I am, who we are, who we still can be. And I was giving in to giving up. I wanted to lay my burden down. I had had enough. But she said, hey, look around for love. And as long as you're still here, let's keep on rising up. As long as we're still here, let's keep on rising. And when the seas dividing us seem too deep, and the night too harsh to believe, be the kind of kindness that sets your heart free. Be a lighthouse. 'Cause when I was giving in to giving up, I wanted to lay that burden down, but lift you up, 'cause we all know the way ahead is love. So as long as we're still here, let's keep on rising up. Let's lift each other up and keep rising. Be the kind of kindness that sets your heart free. Be a lighthouse. So when I'm giving in to giving up, I'm gonna lay that burden down and lift you up, 'cause we all know the way ahead is love. So as long as we're still here, let's keep on rising up. Let's lift each other up and keep rising. Let's lift each other up and keep rising. Let's lift each other up and keep rising.
Thank you. That was fantastic. So I think unless other people have a desire to stay on and chat for a little bit, I think that we will wrap up here. We really appreciate you, Julia, being here and playing such beautiful music for us. Really a highlight of the day. And just being able to see all your faces is definitely something that keeps me going throughout the week, with everybody being so remote and everything like that. I'm probably going to hang on here for just 5 minutes or so and just visit with people if anybody stays on. If not, I'm going to eventually go pick up my groceries from Walmart. Thank you all for coming and turning your cameras on and contributing and being here. And we'll see you next week.